what's up?
Baby, let's go.
Welcome to our website. We got loads of news and gossip for you today. But first, here's a new song.
The moon, the stars, the sky. Come on closer, baby, let the lights go out. Yeah. We fall and then we rise. No more alibis, I wanna hide now. Yeah. Fall into the fire, baby, we could ride the night, yeah. I'ma show you, or we could shine the light, hey. Lift your hands, free your mind and mind combine and float up to the higher. It's okay, it's okay. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Walk a straight line, how many fingers? An ecstasy, fragrance lingers, yeah. And those endless conversations, and you feel it floating now. I finally got you, and I'm following you into the fire. Baby, we could ride the night, yeah. I'ma show you, or we could shine the light, yeah. Lift your hands, free your mind and mind combine and float up to the higher. It's okay, it's okay. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Hold me up, cause you never wanna drop me, not me. Got the key, dancing to unlock me. Side to side, know their fingers don't faze me. Crazy to say, but nothing gonna stop me. You're talking to get you. I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing with you. You should say what you say. Oh, come on, get it longer. Oh, come on, get it longer. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Show you, let me show you pure love, pure love.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Tuesday. Sunny, wet.
Is that only Tuesday?
You want it to be Friday?
No, I'm very happy with
Didn't you just
Tuesday.
do a show with me like 2 hours ago? 1, 2, 3
I have
hours
to tell
ago?
you, I don't know what happens here in between our morning show.
Really?
in our afternoon
You would
show.
have to pick out that.
The biggest one.
And I'm going to pick out my weapon.
You got it.
My weapon of the day.
That's all I can tell
I'm
you.
gonna give you that.
Yes, I don't know what happens. We've got all this time in the morning, and somehow I get entrenched in my computer and trying to do things that should take 5 minutes take
I
me
found
an
out
hour.
why. Because you got short fingers. It takes you forever to get down the block.
Because I got short fingers?
Yes.
Explain the block.
In other words, how long did it take you to do the proposal?
Amy understood me, though, because I couldn't find it.
Amy.
She understands.
Amy who? Rashevsky? If she understands you, you're in trouble to begin with.
I love the set behind us. This is the artwork of Barbara Silver, the beautiful flowers of OMG Flower Boutique, getting ready for Amy Rashevsky's show tomorrow. But yeah, Amy understands my mind, and I understand hers, which is ever so funny.
Well,
I
it's
feel
better
sorry
than
for
Slick
you.
is the only one that understands me. So
I think I kind of understand Slick, too. We got Slick and Val with us today in the house, doing everything. You did Slick Speaks, and it went by with the blink of an eye. What was it? What'd you talk about?
Miami's being open again, so there's festivals that's going to be happening this July. I don't know why, and I don't know the parent. Like they haven't been telling me about anything about social distancing, so it's going to be basically a mosh pit in a sense.
Nice.
There, but
well, who told you Miami's open again?
oh, Rolling Loud posted on they posted on their site yesterday.
Who?
This is concert called Rolling Loud. It's basically like a Coachella, but mostly on our side, mostly big rappers, big pop stars. It's a 3-day event that's happening on the weekend and it's open. They're not talking about health or regulations or anything, but Miami sponsoring it. And it's
That's
happening.
interesting. I didn't even hear that.
It's interesting. I was talking to someone yesterday. She's in Ontario, and she said they are shut down. She said it's like the Gestapo. You're not allowed to leave your house. She said, she said, Florida, everything's open, and you guys are back to normal. And I said, I don't know how normal we are, but things are open. She said, in Canada, she said, forget it. They can't even leave their house.
You know, it's really funny. People say we're back to normal. That must be because they're on super lockdown.
They're on super lockdown.
Like India. You saw what happened in India?
India, which is
They don't know
why,
what to do with
which
India.
is why you're not getting your shirts right now, because they're on super lockdown. Our masks, everything getting manufactured in India is on lockdown.
South America and Brazil. You see what's happening down there? Holy smokes.
Brazil's crazy,
No.
yeah.
Very bad. Now they choose here the latest with the double. In India, they have the double. What is it when a germ?
Mutation?
Huh?
Mutation,
Mutation? Is that a word?
yeah,
Well, it's a double mutation.
yeah.
And they are afraid that this double mutation is going to be worse than the original. I don't understand this thing. This is just getting to a point. Let's start scaring everybody.
Want to hear
death.
my conspiracy theory?
Oh, here we go.
No. I'll save that for after hours. I'll save that off there. But we got a big show lined up today. We've got Amy Rashevsky popped in to get ready for tomorrow's show. She just likes to hang with us in the morning.
I don't think Amy came in to pop in for the show. I think Amy
She just
just
came
likes
in.
popping in.
We got Megan Cosgrove with us from Roseway Recovery. We've got
Cosgrove.
Marley in the house of Marley Purses. Our fish skin tilapia bags are in the house. And then we're playing tribute to Autism Awareness Month. And we've got Stacey Hoagland, and Val's mom is going to be joining us on VMix.
I saw her in the rehearsals. I saw her mom coming in.
And our 1 o'clock hour, we've got a guest. She's coming in. She wrote a book. She's an author, and she has started a new business. She juices some sort of greenery. I'm going to find out what she's juicing, like a green juice. So we're going to find that out. She's bringing that in on the 1 o'clock hour.
Pass.
A lot of
I
stuff.
don't drink nothing green.
I drink everything green. Megan's laughing because I bet you do green juices.
You do? It's funny. Only people that drink green juice laugh. We did a show up in,
Oops.
what's the name of that place we went to? Up in West Palm Beach?
Hippocrates.
That place. And she had me eating grass. Remember?
It was really good,
And they
wasn't
were
it?
tearing it out of I felt like a cow. No, it wasn't good. It was
It was
green.
good.
It
The
was not
seeds,
good.
You like the broccoli sprouts.
Dawn, I said that because we were doing that show, but now that it's been over a year, I don't like it too much.
It's been a long time
Don't
since
like
we've
it
done
too
things
much.
like
Don't
that
do
on
that
the
to me
road.
again, because that green stuff just.
Not for you. So she's coming in on the 1 o'clock hour. She's a friend of Patty Goldenberg's. So she's going to, I actually never asked Patty to join us, but yes, it's going to be a full show.
Now, I want to tell you, I had a dream last night that the fish person over there with the purses, that we had a giant,
Fish?
No, we had a giant fish tank. And it wasn't real water. It made believe water. And in there was her purses. I think that's pretty clever.
That's a very cool way to display it, actually.
It came to me in a dream. And I'm looking at you and I see this giant fish tank around you. And make sure you're talking to your mic.
Yes, I am today.
Marley Purse is back in the house, and we're gonna really like dive in, no pun intended, on why you make your purses out of tilapia versus any other kind of fish.
I chose tilapia because in South America there are a lot of farm tilapia. So instead of throwing in the environment, they are recycling it, transforming it in leather. And there are a lot of tanneries. So this is why I chose tilapia. It can be made with any other fish. I just chose tilapia because they make that leather there.
So is anything that they can capture and skin, you can use?
Yeah, any other fish. I wish they had a tannery here so they could make it of salmon or sea bass, any other fish. But
How does it work? How do you take the skin of any fish? You said you just chose tilapia, and they can turn this into material for you to use?
Yeah, there is a technique I went to the tannery and see. It's like it started already when they killed the fish. There is a technique they use to leave the skin a little thicker in order to make the leather a little thicker. Otherwise,
Really?
it's too thin to transform it in leather, you know.
Can you eat the fish and then give you the skin?
Yeah, it's a technique they
That's
use.
what they
It's
do.
just get out the skin off of the meat, and it's transformed in leather.
And you only use tilapia.
Yes, I only use tilapia because it's farm raised, and so they only make it of tilapia over there, not any other fish. Grass carp as well, but most of is tilapia. Yeah.
That's really interesting, but your idea is great for a display. If you just got an empty fish tank and you put the stand just like you have it
Yeah.
now, but it's just displayed in a fish tank. Would be kind of cool. You can put the gravel and all the little toys and everything.
But the trick of it is you got to put something at the top of the fish tank that looks like water.
Yeah.
And I think I know the person that can help us with this.
Who?
Max.
You could use just like the paper, that crunchy, crinkly, iridescent paper. It looks like water. Just fill it with the paper.
Crunchy, iridescent paper.
You know what I'm talking about, right? It's
Yes,
like
I know, to make a decoration
Yeah.
and it stays the way
Do
how
you know
you
what she's
want
talking
it.
about?
Yeah.
So it would look like waves, almost like tissue paper, but it's
Yeah.
more cellophane-y. And it has an iridescent feel, and you can
I think we should do
layer it.
that. So if you have anybody out there have a giant fish tank,
And
I
where
mean,
are
it's
we
got
going
to
to
be
put a
big.
fish tank?
What?
Megan, welcome to his brain, because next thing you know, oh wait, there's 3 inches over there that he's going to put a stand and a life-size fish tank on it. Slick, am I
Megan,
right?
I got a whole room behind me that's not being used. It is improperly used. I probably put it up there on the stands, up there on top.
And how strong is the tilapia, like any other bag?
The tilapia leather is much stronger than the cow leather if compared with the same thickness as cow leather or lamb leather. Is 9 times stronger because the fiber of the fish goes crisscross, so it's not just one way to go as cow leather. So it's much stronger
I was
compared
reading
to the same thickness as
regular
cow
leather.
leather.
And it's a sustainable product then. It becomes
Yes.
eco-friendly.
Do you have to oil fish leather like you do with leather?
No.
Leather. You don't have to
No.
oil it, right? Does it get brittle in the sunlight if you leave the purse or your wallet in the sun? Does it get brittle?
No, only if you leave it like for months, maybe. But because like if you put a colorful T-shirt out in the sun for weeks, or it also, but it can get wet and it dries by itself, or is no anything that you need to be careful more than any other leather.
You know,
bag.
this is the trend to have sustainable clothing and accessories. I was reading an article this morning. You know Patagonia, the vests, the fleece vests that people wear up north over your clothes? They're kind of like the gray, puffy vests.
Okay.
Patagonia is the company. And they would embroider for all the armory places. They would embroider for the stock market. They did all this embroidering for different companies. They no longer are doing this because it's not sustainable. Because if you change your job, you're not going to wear that vest anymore. And then what do you do with the vest? So now they're only working with companies without branding, so you can wear it from job to job.
Or it has
and
the name of the
become-
company on it?
And more eco-friendly.
You wear it
and
like
more
I do.
But
Branding transformations, you get mad at me.
yeah, you do that because you work for yourself. You can't do that if you work for another company. If you're a trader or different vests, you just can't. So they've stopped.
Really?
They're not doing this anymore because everyone is trying to reduce their footprint, the eco footprint, and doing more sustainable clothing, things that you can transfer, that you're not going to get rid of, that you're not just going to pile up in a trash dump. And just like your fish products, the tilapia bags.
Is the tilapia bags biodegradable?
I'm sorry.
Biodegradable. Can I bury it and it'll degrade?
They takes years for get rid of all this tilapia skin if you put it under the ground. This is how they do it over there. But then they start making leather of it, so which transform it in making, instead throwing under the ground. That would take years or years. I don't know how many years to get rid of that. So
do
they
something
make
with it.
leather of it. So in making money, it's much more expensive than cow leather because it's pieces. So it's more work than a cow leather hide that is just one piece, one big piece, instead just one side of the fish and the other.
I gotta tell you, if you take everything out of the bag and you crush it, and you put other biodegradable pieces, maybe we should talk to Wayne Henry, and then surround it in one of those trees with your ashes and bury you in the background. Don't look at me that way. He does
I was
that.
actually thinking of introducing her to the lady that makes lip gloss, and you're thinking about Wayne Henry. I'm thinking about a whole Mother's Day lip gloss, makeup, clothing line bundle, and you're thinking about Wayne Henry.
It goes to show you how we work.
It goes to
Yeah,
show you,
I
it's like, I'm
see.
thinking about life and fun. He's thinking about the
I'm
afterlife.
just thinking it might be a fun feed to the ground. I mean, they put your ashes down there, you know what I'm saying?
I know. But it's a great idea, and sustainability, and the products are nice. And this way, if you're vegan, you don't have to worry about it harming the cows. It's all made from fish. I don't know how tannery works. I don't even know what the process is like.
Yeah, I went to a couple of tanneries and see the process. It's a lot of work, but they get because a lot of people think, fish, tilapia, it can smell, but I think at the second, the third step of the process, they take already the smell out of the skin of the fish. So it goes first, they clean, and then it goes to all different steps. It takes days, one step and then so on. But the tilapia, because it's little pieces, is much more work. This is why it's more expensive.
They're beautiful bags. I see you're doing a lot of fashion shows and runway pieces.
Yes, I did a fashion show a month ago at the Boca Beach Club. So it was a really nice event to be part of. And I had my 15 models wearing my handbags, and it was really
That's
beautiful.
a lot of models.
Yeah, and they did a really great job.
That's a lot of
I
models.
saw the pictures.
Have we introduced her to Danielle?
Do you know Danielle Bujan? The lady with the Portuguese show.
No, I think I don't know her.
She was supposed to interview, and then she got caught. Her only day off is Tuesday, so I would have to ask Danielle to interview her on a Tuesday. But I think in the Brazilian market and Portuguese market, that this would be very, very holy mackerel. She's blowing
pun
it up
intended.
right now. Huh?
No pun intended.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
How
I want
many
to
fish
come
jokes
to
can
do
you come
that,
up
yeah.
with?
Wow. Didn't think about that.
That was funny. That was pretty good, though.
But it would be phenomenal because I like to put it on different markets to see which one has a calling for this thing, because it's a niche product. You know,
that
you don't
would be
walk around normally
wonderful,
with this.
yeah.
And I like the emblem with the little gold fish that I could tell your bag anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
'Cause of the
it's
emblem.
different. The logo is made of the shape of a fish because it's made of tilapia. So, and then my name in it. So,
It's a great idea because what people are doing is they're not walking around so much with other designers on their body anymore. They're really trying to get away from that and being more sustainable, more eco-friendly, more welcoming and open and not branded as a name. And that's the trend. And I always said, why would I walk around with somebody else's name on my purse all the time or my shoes or anything like that?
Do you put people's names on your clothes?
You know, the designer clothing that's the designer bags that have their logo all over the place.
Like Jordache in the day.
I was going to say Jordache I don't think is a thing anymore.
In the day it was.
Jordache, she's shaking her head. Welcome to my brain over here.
Jordache isn't a thing anymore?
Jordache
What's the name of a
jeans.
jean? Yeah.
Levi's.
That's always been around. Levi's, you know, the Levi's used to cost $400 a pair back in the day. How much are they now?
400?
Oh, yeah, I used to sell them. I used to sell Levi's at Frank's Army and Navy.
For $400 in an Army and Navy store? No.
Look it up. What do you mean, no?
I'm
telling
not saying
you.
no, but really?
Really?
$400?
Levi's, high pockets, jeans, yes. Then they started doing the wash and this and the. Now they wear Levi's with holes in them. If I knew that was a thing, I would have never thrown away
Should
my
have
Levi's.
kept all your Levi's.
But I used to $400, and then over in Europe they were even more, because you couldn't get them. And now $50 a pop. So that you know, you never know what happens in fashion, right?
Yeah.
Because it picks up, it becomes the niche, and the next thing you know, everybody got to have it.
But I love your crossbody bag. I love watching all the models and everything you're working on. The pieces are amazing. How do
Thank
people
you.
find you and find the pieces?
At marleypurses.com and Marley Purses for You on Facebook and also on Instagram at Marley Purses.
marleypurses.com.
I would like to invite you to bring some models, and I think the next time you come, we have a fashion show of purses.
Actually, Danielle's doing a fashion show of clothing coming up, so maybe we can
We should
combine the
call
two.
her, yes. Maybe you do with Danielle's clothes. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, you're good.
I try.
That might be a home run. But then
Where is she
besides
doing
that,
the fashion show?
I'll check the date. I don't know if
Oh.
she told me. It's in the next couple weeks, and it'll be on a Thursday. But we'll let you know ahead of time and see how we can.
she's on Thursday or Wednesday?
Danielle Bourgeon is Thursday.
Oh, you were right. I was wrong. It is Thursday.
So we'll try and coordinate that because I know the beautiful dresses and things that'll be coming in.
Danielle brought in 5 models in here one day. They were doing this
Slick, remember that?
fashion shoot. This guy,
They were
he
laid
almost,
out on the floor.
he almost broke 4 cameras that day.
I was assisting.
Assisting.
I was assisting.
I had to put a rubber hose around him and tie him to the outside
I
because
was
everything
assisting. You
was
wanted me
falling all
to
over the place.
assist. I was assisting. I was.
You were
I was the
insistent,
extra
yes.
hands.
You were very insistent.
I was.
All right, let's take a commercial break. Check out the purses, marleypurses.com. They are beautiful. They are sustainable, made of tilapia fish, not cow leather. They're beautiful, and they are made right here in the U.S. More information, contact her at marleypurses.com. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got Stacy Hoagland joining us, president of the Autism Society of Florida. We've got Val's mom joining us, what it's like to be a parent of a child with autism. And Megan, your fan club is already commenting. So they're saying hello to Megan. So stay tuned. Quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are. reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back at the Brooklyn Cafe. We've got a lot going on today.
It's like there's somebody at the door.
That must be Debbie at the door.
Is
Debbie at the door. Debbie at the door. Let's bring Debbie in.
Debbie at the door.
Debbie at the door. We got Megan Cosgrove with us from Roseway Recovery House. But Freddie seems to think you do something else. Female sober living. Only a female recovery center?
Yes, all female.
Wow. How did you get into doing that?
I'm actually in the program, and it's funny because today's 420. So for me, it's really happy Gateway Drug Day. You know, that's what leads us to it. So I've been in the program for 7 years now. And I started with one house, and it just completely took off in the last 4 to 5 years.
Do you really believe it's a gateway drug that it leads you to this?
I do. I believe it can lead you to other things. You know, it really is a choice in the beginning, but once you cross that line, there's kind of no going back.
Today's Freddie didn't know what 420 was.
I never
so
knew that this was anything. Today's April 20th, right?
420.
420.
April. Would that be April 20th?
Yes.
Today,
But it's the numbers.
Today, it's the numbers.
It's not that it's April 20th, it's 420.
What does that mean? That's 420.
Yeah, that's the time that they use to.
Technical difficulties.
I can look it up. While
The only thing I know about 420 is that today happens to be my parents' anniversary.
Really?
Oh,
Wow. Happy anniversary,
happy
Mom and Dad.
anniversary.
Yeah, but I've lost them. Him 2 years ago, her 4 years ago. But that's the only thing I know about 420. I've never heard.
I think they call it like National Pot Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Well, tell us about the center. You work with the center, or this is your center that you started?
This is my center. So I founded the center back in, I want to say 2016. So I own it, operate it. I'm very hands-on. So basically, what I provide is housing, stability, accountability, support for women coming out of treatment. They can stay anywhere with me from 6 months up to 2 years. I have three different phases within the 5 houses. So this is really where women in recovery learn to live sober. And, you know, with the help of an amazing team of managers, we kind of help guide them, you know, every step of the way.
How many women can you house?
Right now I have 52.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So about
That's a
10 women
lot.
in a house?
Roughly 7, 9. It just depends on what house they're in. And I have live-in managers in all the houses. And, you know, it just started with an idea. I really loved the sober living that I went to. And, you know, I just turned it into a dream and put a lot of action in. And, you know, it's just completely taken off. And I can't believe what God's done, you know, through these houses and all the success stories that come out of it.
You know, it's one thing to go through sober living and to help and mentor. It's another thing to open up 5 houses and a whole sober living community.
Yeah.
How long has this process taken you?
So to get to where we are today, it's taken, I want to say about 4, almost 5 years. And, you know, I work 24/7. My phone's always on. There's been a lot of sleepless nights, but then on the other end of it, there's, you know, so many blessings that come through it. These girls they're reaching long-term sobriety. They have relationships with their families, their kids, and they're staying sober.
What are the ages that you work with?
I believe the youngest that I have is 19. They are getting younger and younger. And then I would say up to 55, even 65.
And this is a private pay?
Yes, this is all self-pay. So they get a job, they pay their own rent, they work, they go to meetings, they get drug tested, and they get that support, which is kind of what separates me from anyone else, is that community feel, the love, the support, and you know, I'm so blown away at what's happened.
And you're not a treatment center. I'm sorry. You're sober living. So
Sober
it's
living.
after treatment.
After treatment, correct.
And you
Which
follow
is the
them that way.
hardest part, from my understanding,
Right.
of this whole thing. Is the
Right. So
after-treatment.
yeah, I don't want to say easy to stay sober in treatment, but you are, you know, in a enclosed space and you're monitored 24/7, and you know, it's easy to stay sober in those type of environments. But once you get to sober living, you're out in the real world, and you're tempted with everything around you. So this is really the hardest step, I would say. And you know, but to see the transition, and you know, they gain employment and they become productive members of society, that's, you know, it's just amazing.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Over 5 years.
Yep.
It just keeps going. 50 women.
You know, I didn't know. I sort of didn't know, but I didn't know that she did that.
I
there
don't
was
think
this-
you knew, because you brought her in for something else.
I did, because she talks about getting women back into the flow of society and everything
Mm-hmm.
else, and that's what I saw. That, and she does ballet dancing.
Oh, you showed me her dancing.
I do. So I'm also a professional dancer. I dance with a company called Agua Dance Company in Lake Worth. And I've really kind of taken my own experience with what dance has done for me in my own recovery, and I try to pull, you know, those passions out of the girls that, you know, I mentor. And last night I had 2 of my girls from the house come take class with me, and, you know, and that was amazing. So, you know, it's so much more than just putting the drink or the drug down. It's, okay, now what do we want to do with our life? We have dreams, we have goals, we have passions. And for me, dance is just such a huge part of my own recovery. You know, I danced my whole life. I competed. I went to Dreyfus School of the Arts in West Palm. And then through my addiction, I obviously wasn't able to do that. So getting sober, I was able to do that again. And, you know, it's been such a blessing.
And, yeah.
It's amazing, because I didn't know about 420. I didn't know anything about that. Here she
I did.
sits again. I didn't know any of this stuff.
So I bet she was thinking, oh, I guess he's having me in today for a reason.
No, she picked a date.
I did. I picked the date. He had been asking me, and my schedule's so packed, but I finally was able to fit it in. I didn't know what I was walking into. I just, you know,
Me neither.
kind of winging it, but
Me
Neither
neither.
did anybody
but this
here.
is great.
I didn't know
like it.
anybody, except for her. I didn't know anybody else was coming till you said I'm coming.
Yeah.
You know, but the funny thing about the way things work out is that every time you do something, it pops up on my Facebook. Do you get this now?
It depends. I don't think I'm friends with Megan on Facebook.
I
so.
don't know what's going on. Facebook has changed. So
Yes.
every time you do a dance piece, it shows up. When you're with your son in a pool, it shows up. So I go, oh, check this out. Now, all the pages, because we should have 37 pages, they're not there. I don't know. I got to look up even Slicks. I got to look it up.
Yeah. they've changed
So I kept
everything.
getting these messages, and I said, Megan, you're gonna have to come
It
on
was
because there's a
sign.
reason.
Yeah, it was a sign.
And here we are, 420, all of a sudden.
420.
And that's kind of how things work in the studio.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's just one of the ways things work. How did you come up with the name Roseway?
So the rose symbolizes promises, hope, and new beginning. And my great aunt, her name was also Rose. So when I was trying to come up with the name, I wanted it to be something meaningful to me, but also symbolize that change that we go through. So Roseway Recovery House, and then I have, different properties. So the newest property is called the Flourish property. So just the beauty of new beginnings in life, and what we grow through and go through, and I thought the rose was the perfect symbol for not only strength but women as well.
It's a beautiful. So your properties are all throughout Boynton area?
They're
or
in
is
the
one
Boynton
location?
Delray Beach area, so we're kind of right between Woolbright and Atlantic, off of the Seacrest area. So we're close to pretty much everything. Central location, which is great.
And do you have more room if people are looking right now?
Right now we are full, but I am looking at new properties. People kind of might say I'm a little crazy when it comes to it, but the way I look at it as is there's so many people dying because of this disease, and there's so many women that need help. And as long as, I'm here, I can help as many people as, possible.
And she's doing the after. You got to remember that. She's doing the after
Right.
you get out, so you don't get into relapse and things of that nature. This is, and you only do women, yes?
All women.
All women.
Yep.
And it's funny because we had a gentleman in here who was talking about doing something as well. Do you remember his name? Big guy.
Oh, I
What's the
remember
name?
him sitting there with who brought him in.
You don't
but I
remember his name? Normally you're good at this.
I'm telling you, I'm aging and my brain is just going.
There's so many people that
Me too.
come into studio, and I know you're the first I've ever heard in the actually the second because Face Guy, but this would be the first.
Yeah, but this is different. This is a recovery house. This is what our other intern, remember we had Captain with us?
Yes.
What she was doing, and it made such a tremendous difference in her life to have a safe place to go every day, to know that she was supported,
Right.
and what it's like to have family. Everyone becomes your family.
Right.
To support you when you come home from work, to know when you're looking for a job, to be there when your kids aren't talking to or your parents as your new family.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens. We kind of ruin relationships with anyone and everyone when we're actively using, and then not all those relationships are mended overnight. So these girls come to these houses, and like you said, they create a family. And also it gives me the opportunity to kind of be that sounding board between them and whether it's their parents, their kids, just to give them some peace of mind. So we all kind of do it together. I pretty much talk to all the families of all the women. I have good relationships with some of them. If they come in town, I take them out for coffee and, just really get to know them as well, because they're recovering too. And it really is a family disease, so it does affect everyone. So, my main job with these girls is to give them that love, that support, that hope, and, just assure them that if they do stay sober over time, they'll have all that back.
And how long are you sober now?
7 years.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So right afterwards, pretty much, you went right in full force to doing this.
It was about, when I was about 2.5 years sober, that's when
Wow.
I started thinking about it.
That's
It's
amazing.
funny. I didn't know any of this. Zippo. I saw when it was posted some of the things that she helps women get back into the groove and keep them there, but I did not know any of this.
What are some of the top tips you can give people, women and men, going through the recovery right now and then afterwards?
So the biggest tips that I would give them is just to, for the families, you see a lot of like enabling, and, obviously they're so scared to lose the person that they love, but that's actually hurting them in the long run. They need to show them some tough love, get them into detox, get them into treatment. I have resources for any type of treatment, whether it's male or female, and we can help facilitate them to a safe place. And then once they're in treatment, it's always recommended to go to sober living, and to stay in sober living. There's no need to rush back into life. The stress of life will always be there. But this is kind of, their time to just be still and, make a slow transition and to really just learn how to get back into everyday life. So my tips would be, obviously we take it one day at a time, but to really give yourself, that time that you need. So that way you don't have to come back. That's the main goal. We want to achieve long-term sobriety.
Change your
It's funny
lifestyle.
because we had an intern that worked with us, and we brought her in right on the spot on a shoot.
Captain.
Yes, and she was a captain in the military. She was homeless at the time. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
I've seen all different types of stories.
But it changed her life.
Right.
Oh my goodness gracious. Now she's flying high wherever she is. She had degrees. And she became,
She was like a nuclear engineer. I mean, tremendous. And things just got hard, and she ended up where she ended up homeless, and finally found a center that took her in. And because she was able to do that, she was able to then get disability and back pay from the government from all her years of service,
Thousands and
which
thousands
then
of
got her
dollars.
off the street. But she needed that clarity of mind and that support system
Right.
to actually go after the things that she was entitled to get
Right.
for serving and everything that she did.
and it worked. It was an amazing story.
And then her children just recently came back, so it's been an evolution of a lifetime.
And that's what I see in these women, not only them, but in myself too. And, I'm a mom today. I never, I always dreamt of it, but when you're in the grips of addiction, you never think it's actually going to happen. And I have a beautiful little boy, and, these girls are going back to school, and, we're a 12-step based house, so they work some type of AA program, NA program, whatever program they choose. They get a sponsor, and, you see these success stories every single day with all the women.
The beauty of perseverance.
Yeah.
And Debbie, you're here in a perfect day because we're going to get into your story also.
I'd like to ask some questions.
Sure.
if
Oh,
that's okay.
sure.
So how long are the ladies allowed to stay at your house, or do they have a time expiration date?
So for me personally, in my houses, I don't really have a time expiration date. I actually think the longer they stay, the better. With those 3 phases, by the time they get to the 3rd phase, it's basically like independent living, but they're still a house leader. They still do get drug tested. And I've had girls that have stayed there up to 2.5 years. And I see that when the girls stay anywhere from 18 months to 2.5 years, they really, leave and stay sober.
More success.
Exactly.
More success.
Remarkable. Wow. And how do people get in touch with you if they want help?
They can call me at 561-927-9379 or go to my website at rosewayrecoveryhouse.com.
And if you need if you need the number or anything else, just give us a call. We'll give you her number as well.
Absolutely.
But again, I guess
You're speechless.
I am speechless. I really am.
Serendipitously on 420, yeah.
been
I know,
this
there are
kind
no
of month.
coincidences.
Certainly not in our world.
Not in
No.
our world. Not in our
True
world.
that. All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, more to come on our Tuesday afternoon. Stay tuned. Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
The first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios that will set the venue for any media application. We offer remote services as a radio or TV production and continue to grow new venues to bring your ideas to life. We also specialize in video and photo content for social media. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Hi, I'm Tracy McDonough, owner and founder of Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playroom, a mind, body, spirit center. Our service is love and compassion, and the environment is soothing, peaceful, and inviting. Every area is designed for healing and peace. We deliver services such as massage therapy or lymphatic drainage, energy healing and Reiki, chakra balancing, physical vascular therapy for circulation and pain, vibrational medicine using frequencies and oils, and music in order to calm and relax your mind, body, and spirit. We also offer detoxification services using infrared sauna, ionic foot baths, and power plates. All of our modalities are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, induce relaxation, relieve pain, and provide detoxification and inflammation reduction for optimal healing and wellness.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And you're back.
We're back on a rainy Tuesday.
I'm a little jealous.
You want the boobaliciousness on your glass
This
as well?
is unbelievable. What do? You swallow 2 barbells?
Pretty much. You know, it's all about the artistic integrity of
This
it.
is really, we had to never call the artist. We have to call the artist.
We got to
'cause
call the
wants
artist.
come
We
on.
have to thank them for bringing this also.
The artist wants to come.
Aren't these
on.
cute? Great props.
Unbelievable. I got
We're
to
gonna-
clean my glass.
Well, one of our producers, you all know her as Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel has the segment set up for us today on VMix with Stacey Hoagland. And Stacey has joined us before and been on her show on Small Talk with Val. It is National Autism Awareness Month, and Stacey is the president of the Autism Society of Florida and also Val's
autism?
mom. The Autism Society of Florida, yes, for autism. So Stacey's joining us, and Val's mom is joining us as well because Val's sister has autism. So Val, I don't know who's on, but let's bring them over. Hi, ladies.
Everybody's on.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here. Hey, how are you?
We've never met Cracker Barrel's mom, but you can tell they have the same face.
Do they?
I think they look alike. Denise,
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
I don't know what to look at. Okay. I haven't done very much of this video stuff.
We love your daughter.
Thank you. I love her
she's
too.
amazing. She's amazing. Well, welcome, ladies. April is National
Okay.
Autism Awareness Month.
It's
Yeah.
yes, and it's actually April 2nd is World Autism Day. So it's not just the US, it's literally globe.
Wow. Stacey, you look amazing.
We didn't do the blue light bulbs this year, huh? No blue light bulbs?
On our show, we should do it.
No, worldwide they were doing blue light bulbs, light up blue for autism.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
I thought that was a thing that was going to be every year.
Did you know that?
I do
Sorry.
not. I know one of the people we work with so much is through MS for the Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. They do Light It Up Green for MD, and they usually do it in the summer. She's got over 100, more than 150. I'm going to misspeak, but she is everywhere, lighting everything up green around the world, which
Yeah,
is
it's
amazing.
tremendous.
But Light It Up Blue. We used to keep a light here, and we would change the bulbs monthly when we would know what it was. So we could go back to doing
We
that.
have it in the back.
We can go back to doing that.
I didn't know that blue was the color. Oh, we could do that.
And the puzzle piece. Stacey, tell us about the society.
Well, the Autism Society of America is a national organization, and then it has affiliates in the different states. So our state is the Autism Society of Florida. We are heavily involved with not only things happen here in Florida, but across the nation. But the primary things that we focus on are the training of police officers in knowing and recognizing, understanding how to serve and protect people with autism. We provide a lot of training to water safety instructors on autism because children with autism drown at a rate 160 times greater than typically developing kids. So drowning is a huge issue in our community. So we spend a lot of time training those people. We provide swimming scholarships to families in need. We do a lot of parent training. And one of the biggest things that we do actually is legislative advocacy, because as you guys know, sometimes our government needs a little push in the right direction. And so we tend to help them out as much as we can with doing that to help people with autism have a better life.
Are you finding that the spectrum becomes this whole catchphrase of everything? And I'm not big on diagnosing. I hate labeling, and I've had my master's in special ed, so I really don't like labeling of anything. But now there's this spectrum of everything that doesn't seem to have a label gets thrown in a spectrum. Does this fall into the whole autism society spectrum as well?
Well, I mean, autism is a spectrum disorder, so that just sort of is what it is. You'll find some people on, we'll say, one side of the spectrum who may be pretty independent, maybe have gone to college, but just because that person has made those types of accomplishments doesn't mean that they don't have a lot of challenges in their day-to-day life. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you might find someone who can't verbally communicate. They have to use some other means, some other way to communicate, whether it's through technology or pictures or sign language, and then of course, everything in between. And I have to tell you, I find some people who may not be able to verbally communicate actually live a fairly fulfilling life. Yeah. And so, yes, I think that the systems, not the people with autism, but the systems, the education system, the healthcare system, I think that they're maybe throwing too many hats in the ring there. But people with autism, we know that the numbers are up. In June, this past June, even in the midst of COVID and everything that was happening with COVID, the Centers for Disease Control did come out with a new number that's 1 in 54. So we know that number is increasing, and we also know that number's not only increasing because physicians are doing a better job at diagnosing, because the kids who we would not have missed before, the kids who have significant challenges in their learning, their communication, their social skills, those programs in our classroom, in our schools are also greatly increasing. So it's not just that, we would have missed them before. There's a lot more children with autism today than there have been in any recorded history. So it is a huge issue. We need to, and something that we as the Autism Society do. We work very hard to be able to advocate for these people when it comes to, being able to get good health care, good education, because the goal for everybody is to, when you're an adult, if you want to get a job, we want you to be able to do that. We want you to live the life that it is that you want for yourself. And, when the playing field isn't equal, then that doesn't often happen.
In the education and families, and I want to ask, I'm going to call you Mom, ask Denise, during COVID, having Chloe home, was it harder? Did you have different challenges and speed bumps along the way this past year than you had previously?
No, it was pretty much business as usual. She had just finished what they call the Access program at Atlantic Tech, and she's transitioned over to VR, vocational rehab, and they want her to, put her with a job coach and get her to go looking for a job, and she refused. She did not. Her dream job is to work in Publix. She did not. She'd had 3 different times through different programs that she was in place in Publix, and it was fine. Everything was great, but with a mask, she did not want to. She didn't think anybody could understand her. She was afraid of everything. So she said she's not going to work until the pandemic was over. So in the meantime, we've had she's been Zooming with a psychologist and having weekly sessions with him. And he talks to her about going to work. And we're getting to a point where the vaccine, she's gotten 1 vaccine already. And I think she'll start to loosen up when she has a 2nd vaccine and the world is loosening up. Maybe if she doesn't have to wear a mask. I don't really know. I don't know what the next step is going to be. But the psychologist still listens to her, so it's that's a good thing.
I want to, Stacy, you have to be hearing these stories more and more, right? You've got more identified children, more families needing more support, more outreach. It seems like everyone's here for support, right, today. Are there different educational programs and different resources that the society provides that maybe people aren't aware of that we can share today?
Well, we do more of the advocacy side because the Department of Education gets funded to provide whatever if you have a child. So, and in the state of Florida, a child with a disability who has an IEP could stay in school until the age of 22. So anybody from the age of 22 younger, really the school system should provide what they need. If the parents aren't finding that and they have advocated, then they can certainly go, there's more and more private providers that are popping up because the school system, the issues with the school system had issues anyway, but the pandemic certainly threw it into the next phenomena, and countless numbers of students with autism did not get the education that was even remotely close to what they should and could have gotten through the pandemic. And I sadly can say that I have many families whose children made more progress being home with the parent over the pandemic than they were making in school. And really, so what that has done is really shown a light on some of the challenges within our public school system. And so the Autism Society of Florida works very hard to educate families so that they know their rights. And we also advocate for the Department of Education with our state legislature. So if they're not receiving the amount of funds that they should get in order to educate our students, we're speaking up for them as well. Because, you know, we understand that it takes money to educate children, but we also understand that funding can never be a reason to not give a child with a disability what they need in school. So while, yes, there are some programs out there, there's some charter schools, there's some private schools, a parent's rights lie in the public school system. So before we recommend that a parent try to manage their finances in order to put their child in a private setting, we always make sure that they understand their rights so that they can get what they need from the public system, which exists to benefit children and to prepare them for the life that lies before them.
And I have to say, Denise, what Val tells us, how you have learned to work with resources in the system is remarkable.
I learned all that from Stacy.
Really, but it's amazing. So kudos to both of you ladies, because what you've done is amazing that people don't even realize the resources that are available.
When Chloe was 3 years old, she was put in a program that was just an interactive thing. Instead of speech therapy and occupational therapy, she was put in what they call a PLACE program at the time. And then they tell me, we're going to write an IEP. Well, I didn't know what an IEP was. So here comes Stacy explaining to me my rights, my everything. And then we went to some parent trainings that an organization Stacy was part of, Family Network on Disabilities. Some of her colleagues would, I said I wanted to be a fly on the wall. I wanted to see how Chloe acted in class. I wanted to see how things were different. And she said, oh, we can have an observation. I said, okay. So I think Stacy went to see Chloe and all kinds of things that you don't know about, like that happen in school. And then when they come home, they don't do that. So that's a whole other thing. A speech pathologist can get them to say something in a session, and then you come home and it's not there. So when he tells me she's got her THs, and I don't hear any THs. So that's a whole other thing that what happens at school stays at school. You know, you got to get it home. So yeah, it's And
how have you used VR to help?
How? Chloe actually, I now have the VR counselor call Chloe. I want Chloe to drive her own bus. So Chloe won't answer a phone call if she doesn't know the number. So she didn't, this was last week, she didn't answer the call, and Melissa called me and said, I'm trying to get a hold of Chloe, how is she doing? And we talked, and then we hung up and she called Chloe. So it's the whole idea of getting them to be more independent, and I want Chloe to be responsible for what she has to do. She needs a job. She needs to. Responsible. Did you hear that? Oh, see, now she's going to get. Quit embarrassing me. I'm not embarrassing you. Yes, you are. I hate being all sensitive. She does.
We don't want to put her in a bad position either.
She uses the word she knows she has autism, and it. All right, so they talked last week. They're going to set up a job coach to start talking to Chloe about making the move toward getting a job. And the thing is that it's hard because she really they have tunnel vision about things. They only want that one thing, and they can't, the world is black or white. So the job she wants is Publix. Well, if she doesn't have the right training and she loses her first job with Publix, where do we go? So it has to be a good experience. It has to be a positive experience so that she doesn't shut down and not pursue it again. Like another Publix, we talk about things. Your manager might change, your supervisor might change, and they've done one task the same way for 6 months, and then a new boss comes in and says, "I like it done this way," and that's huge. So this is all the stuff that we're working on. Like this little outburst is typical because she doesn't get that I'm not insulting her or trying to embarrass her. I'm just stating how things are.
She's how old?
And she's 21.
I think that's also just part of the age of people trying to maneuver right now what it is and working the job market and being 21. I mean, there's so many layers to it. But you've done a remarkable job. You've done Val's amazing, and her commitment here and her commitment to Chloe and you guys is truly a reflection of
Stacy helped me with Valerie too. Valerie has some learning disabilities, and Stacy helped me understand that it's not it's not her fault, but the school needs to step up and help her get to where she wants to go. Valerie's quite a little success story because she went to VR too, and they approved her to get a certificate program, in film. Then she ended up having, she worked her way to rewrite the plan for an associate's. Then they rewrote the plan for her bachelor's. So they expected a certificate program out of her, and she got her bachelor's. So, all the advocacy that Stacy and people like her work for.
She is our operations manager. So we should have the cards in today, and her card says operations manager, and she's remarkable. She's been
very
with us
nice.
A year, and
thank you for giving her the opportunity.
Thank you, ladies.
She likes it there.
She's taking the opportunity, and she grows, and she and Slick are right now running the whole show here. Slick's our floor manager, and Teddy's our executive director, and they've been with us through thick and thin this past year, and we couldn't do any of this without each and every single one of them. So I thank you for what you do, and the VR program through your eyes has opened our eyes to a whole nother side of VR. And Stacy,
well, vocational rehabilitation, most of the time when I even mention Voc Rehab, a lot of times people will go, "Oh, no," because it is another system, and it's one that you have to understand. But, the stories that Denise just told are perfectly good examples. I also have a son who's 26 years old. He has autism, and he was able to benefit greatly by the VR system. But I had and I'm an advocate. That's what my job, my volunteering is with the Autism Society, but my job, I am actually an educational advocate. And so I'm an advocate, and yet when we sat with vocational rehabilitation the first time, I had a very similar story than the one that Denise just told. But because I understood his rights, and I helped him understand, my son, understand his rights, he was also able to get a bachelor's degree. And people with autism can achieve amazing things, like blow me away and just so incredible when they have what it is that they need. And that's why families need to understand the services that are out there, because Voc Rehab can be quite amazing. They can offer a lot. when you understand your rights.
Yeah, one of our producers, he's been with us 3 years. He just got a job with Walmart. So he started this week, I think. He's like, I don't think you know when I'm coming back. I said, well, you let us know when your schedule opens up. And it was hard because he got the job that his family wanted him to get, but he really loves being here. But, you know, he's almost 30 though. So, you know, we give you your wings and you got to fly, but we're always here for everybody. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining us. If there's ever anything we can do to share your resources and what you do, please let us know.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right.
Take a commercial break.
Let's do that.
When we come back, we've got Debbie Ferris with us and Purse Lady, and Megan is still here. Megan, your fan club is still commenting. So more to come with Megan. She will be hosting her own show tonight at 7 p.m. on WWNN, 1470, 96.3, and 96.9 and 95.3 FM.
96.9
and 95.3.
95.3
and 1470.
And 1470 a.m.
a.m.
Tonight. At
7
what time?
o'clock tonight.
7 o'clock.
On WNN and live streaming on AMP2 TV.
AMP2 TV.
All right, so you'll get more information on that as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Looking for a place to get your ice cream fix? Look no further than Cold Stone Creamery. At Cold Stone, we make our ice cream fresh every single day in store. We have over 20 different ice cream base flavors and over 30 different mix-ins to choose from. We also have plenty of signature creations if you don't want to go ahead and choose your own. To end your creation, you can put it in one of our freshly made waffles. We have ice cream cakes, ice cream sandwiches, milkshakes, smoothies, banana splits, sundaes, and so many other things for you to come check out and enjoy. We are the official ice cream store of the Brooklyn Cafe. Hope to see you soon. And remember, it's always a great day for ice cream. Do you need a strong cup of coffee to get you through your day? Try your very own Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
It's amazing what moms do, isn't it?
I'm gonna tell you that's a tough one.
Val's mom is amazing.
That's tough because win, lose, or draw, you know, it's an everyday continue on. I mean, Hector was with us for 3 years, and we tried everything with Hector. Hector's an artist, actually.
Hector's a genius when it comes to graphic design and animation.
And he got his master's. Doesn't he have his master's in animation?
Yep.
And it's amazing what the kid can do. And we tried in every aspect. We tried to get him hired at Crazy Uncle Mike's and everything else, the radio station and everything else. It's just a tough draw.
But amazing minds. And there's Marley. So we've got a new guest with us, a new friend who is friends with
Go ahead, Molly.
Patty Goldenberg.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, you're good. Our good friend Patty Goldenberg, who was the president of Fem City Boca del Rey. She's one of the best networkers there is, and she does it in her very sweet Patty way, right, Debbie? Yes. So she introduced us and had a lovely conversation with you, I guess last week or the week before, and you're right here in our community.
Yes, I am.
Mom and 3 sons.
Mom of
My
3
3
sons.
My 3 sons.
My 3 sons.
I call myself a MOBO, mom of boys only.
Oh my gosh. How old are your boys?
The eldest is 21. Then I've got a 20-year-old and a 13-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And you wrote a book telling of your journey. So give us some background on.
Some background. I think it's very fortuitous that I'm here on a day that we're talking about addiction and motherhood, because those have been 2 very propelling forces in my life, so to speak. About 11 years ago to the date, I was widowed suddenly. My sons were 10, 8, and 2 at the time. The back story of my widowhood has to do with a health crisis, and before that we had battled addiction. So I talk about that in my book, but my book is really about why my purpose, which was clearly my sons, and how I overcame that period of my life. I wanted to, when everybody goes through something that's so deeply personal, even your closest friends don't know what it's really like. And I felt that if I could share that journey, I would be able to help other people support their loved ones. So that's what the book Beyond the Breakpoint is all about.
So show us your book. It's called Beyond the Breakpoint. And it's about what it was like after your husband passed.
So it starts out with his passing, but then I go into a little bit of the background of, it sets us up. And then the book also then goes, half of it is his addiction and the health crisis, and the other half is the grief, the loss, and how I overcame those first few years.
And you can never be prepared for losing a spouse.
Never. As much as you sometimes face the possibility of death or something terrible happening with addiction, nothing prepares you for the death.
And then here you are with 3 little boys 11 years ago.
Yes, I was. So it was tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
And how did you keep going?
Well, it's in the book.
Gotta buy the book, though.
Yes.
You gotta buy the book.
Again, I go back to motherhood. And sometimes you really don't have a choice. You've got 3 little boys, and you've got to wake up and get out of bed. Put one foot forward one day at a time. I never learned more the significance of live the present moment and one day at a time than when I went through my situation.
And your boys are incredibly successful now.
I would like to think that they're on the path to success.
Well, your eldest is in an amazing school.
Yes, my oldest is right now. He's finishing up his degree in mechanical engineering at Cornell University. And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. And he's been working at a company that does, forgive me if I don't say this properly, but they're making drills and systems for planetary exploration.
Wow.
So he's got a job with them. And then my second son is a serial entrepreneur, and he's doing finance at Boston College.
Incredible.
Yes.
And then you're in the throes of a teenager.
He has graced me with good behavior so far. I think he saw his older brothers. I could write a book about being a mother of boys. That's a whole other story. So we have a little bit of that, but not too badly yet.
And Megan, you have a son.
Yes, I do.
You've got 2 sons and 3 grandsons.
Thank
Marley,
you
you
for
have a son?
reminding me of
No, no children.
All
got
these
fish.
boys. And she's got
All
fish.
these boys.
I know there's a lot of boys. Well, there's 2 to 1 in women in the world, so I guess boys are beginning to catch up.
I guess
Or
so.
3 to 1.
I got 1 of each, but it's got to be different when you're all boys.
It is. We don't use the bathroom as much as the girls.
You just make more of a mess, that's all I can tell you.
Yes, but we all enjoy the mess.
You enjoy it together.
That's right.
And you've got a new endeavor you're working on.
Yes, I'm also a farmer. It was just one of those things that happened. and I am brewing a lemongrass tonic. Lemongrass is highly medicinal in terms of its anti-inflammatory and antifungal, anti-cancer properties, but it tastes delicious. At least I think so.
That's the green stuff?
But it
This
doesn't
is
look
it.
green.
Yes.
Can I tell you a story?
Tell me.
When I met Dawn almost 6 years ago, we were at the iHeart Radio studios, and we put the cameras in there, and we used to go on every day of the week on radio. And she came in with this green stuff.
It was
Remember this?
matcha tea.
So I watched The Exorcist. Remember the movie The Exorcist?
And you
Guys
thought
remember
you
the
were
movie The
drinking
Exorcist?
that. Yes, the
Remember that in
peas.
the day?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, she gave out this green stuff, remember? It was like jelly.
Yes.
So I took a picture of her and I said to Dawn, this is what I see every day, this green stuff. What was that?
Matcha tea. We try to get you on this health journey.
I tasted that and I went, okay, that's enough of that. So you say you're a farmer.
I'm actually growing the plant in West Del Rey. We have a little plot at a farmer actually.
Oops.
At
a farm.
It's called Native K, and they do herbs and native species, and so the owners have graciously given us some space to grow this. So we have our plants there, we harvest, and then we brew our tonic.
And what else is in the tonic?
Well, that's proprietary.
But different
But-
herbs and different.
Yes, but it's I'll say it's 0 glycemic index, 0 calories, and it's all about being healthy and wellness.
What are the benefits of lemongrass?
So the first benefit is that it's very anti-inflammatory. So high performance athletes enjoy it because of those qualities, but it's also used for post-cancer treatment in other countries because of the properties and because of the fungal, anti-mold. Have you ever seen mold in someone's blood? Because
No.
I have, and it's pretty surprising and
Well, we got to introduce
shocking.
you to Tracy.
So
She does live blood analysis.
You know what? I might have seen some of her slides. I think I know who she is, and on those slides is where I've seen the mold.
That's what she does it at Healing Moments, which is a wellness boutique up here, and she
Yes.
does it once a month.
Yes.
And she says and you actually had it done maybe a year ago or so.
They found it wasn't mold, but there were live creatures in my blood.
Candida and other stuff. Yeast. There's all
No,
kinds of stuff.
it was
in the blood.
actually a
Yeast.
living cell. It was a bacteria.
Really?
And and she gave me some stuff for 30 days, and I took it, and they ran the blood again, and it was gone.
I have seen that. I have seen her slides then. Yes.
And it's amazing because I thought that these people were like, from another planet. And when she shows me the slide, I saw her do my finger. It's my blood. And these things were swimming around in there. And I said, what the hell is that? And she says, this is what you got. And yeast is also something that grows in
Yes.
people's bodies. The inflammation to me is interesting because diabetics suffer from inflammation. Anything we eat turns into inflammation. Anything we drink turns into inflammation. You have to be very careful with your balance of water and what you take in. So, I mean, in the diabetic world, this is very interesting in being able to open and close your hands in the morning.
Well, I'd love for you to try it and see what
I
you
thought she was
think.
going to say that.
But we're not quite ready. I didn't want to talk too much about it because I'm not quite ready to commercialize at this point. We still have
But
to
how
go
did you
through
even get
series.
involved in the whole process?
You know, I was growing it. I came up with this delicious beverage that I did not know had all these properties. And I was celebrating one of my girlfriend's birthday. I served it as a luncheon beverage. And everybody was joking, Deb, you should take this to market. You've got such a great story about it. You know, your mom gave you the tips on how to do it and your ancestry, etc. So we just thought it was a joke. Till one of my girlfriends did some research and said, you've got something pretty unique here. We need to take this to market. And so then our journey started. What was the right plant? Where could we source it? What were the right growing conditions? What kind of water, soil, etc.
Does it have to be refrigerated or no?
Well, it doesn't have any preservatives, so I like to keep it refrigerated. I've done tests. these are all the tests that I say we have to still do formally.
Right.
I've done tests, and if you haven't opened the bottle, it can keep outside for a couple of days. I haven't gone more than a week. But yes, once you open it, it does have to be refrigerated.
You know, women in perseverance seems to be, it's always our theme, but today it's like, boom, right there.
You know, it's funny, when the pandemic started, somebody that I know somebody in the family had a black plague tonic. And this has been known for years. And it's in all the books. Amazon even sells it for $65 a piece. But the only thing is that you really don't know what you're buying.
A fire cider, it's called, I think, in the books.
Yes, it's called fire cider, but it had a previous name to this thing. And I tried it for the first time, and all sorts of bells and whistles went off in my head because this stuff was hot. It was peppery. It uses garlic. It uses the hottest peppers.
Horseradish and peppers.
It's just ridiculous. But we've been on it since the pandemic started, right? And we've been taking this. And I thought it was woo-woo too. But all of a sudden, people around me started getting sick, and we didn't, which was kind of, it was kind of strange. So I will buy in to what you're selling because, you know, one of the things, my father was a farmer, and my father used to put his feet in the dirt when he was farming. He used to eat sugar cane, and he put his feet in the earth. And I found out that you should do 15 minutes a day.
Grounding.
To cleanse the body into the earth. That's why there's so much dirt. And I thought that this was all hokey pokey, why the oceans are salt as opposed to clear. There's a lot of reasons of all the elements around us. And cleaning out your liver and things of that nature when you go through drugs or you go through alcohol, all of this stuff, there's a lot of keys around you. So I'm all in. I know you're gonna have to farm a whole lot more acreage. I can see what the problem is, because you're gonna have a winter on your hands, and you're gonna have to limit the orders, because how are you gonna fill these thousands of orders?
That's how we do it right now. It's kind of like first come, you know, I send out a notification, I've got some, and I get orders. It's like a fine vintage, you know. You're on the list, okay, I'll get you some. So that's how we are right now. But I'm a great believer in, you know, the earth can heal. I went through quite a horrendous situation with my own husband, and part of my role as his spouse was to try to keep him healthy. I was fighting Western medicine with my Eastern heritage. I believe that, you know, the earth can be healing, food can be healing or detrimental. I believe in doing everything before you go to take a pill or a surgery. So that's my background, and that's why I'm just so into all of these. Call them alternative. To me, they're the real remedy, and everything else is alternative.
You know, for us, how many years ago already? 4 years ago, we were trying to put a segment together called East Meets West. Because truly there's people that believe one way or another, but now people are bringing together and merging this, because we'll never say go off your diabetes medication. However, you can incorporate some other better foods, different drinks, different tonics to help do what you have to do.
True that.
And I go through it with Daphne all the time. We work with, she's more than a vitamin supplement company. We call her Merlin. And I will go to her before anything, before any doctor, before any test. And she just always, she'll even call me. She goes, all right, this is what you need. I said, whatever it is, just send it.
Yes,
And I'm
absolutely.
a huge believer, but you have to buy in and believe it. And
well, I think that when you've grown up under a psyche that this pill can fix everything, you know, you tend to want that. You want the silver bullet. But the truth of the matter is that every medication has side effects. And if you do the things that you need to do from the get-go with your health, you may not need those medications down the road.
Did you grow up here in the
No,
States?
I grew up in South America. So I'm kind of a cultural mutt. I am. My ancestry is Chinese. But I grew up in Mexico, Venezuela, and I'm a citizen of Panama.
Wow.
So
So you speak how many languages?
only proficiently 2. I can curse in Italian and Portuguese.
I can do that too.
Yes. But As far as what you want on the air, only 2 languages.
You and Marley can curse in Portuguese together. He can curse in Spanish and
German, Portuguese.
Yeah, she speaks like 27 languages though.
Not 27.
You know, my father he planted a lemon tree outside my room in Puerto Rico. And it wasn't until I spoke to my sister that he told her that the scent of lemons clears your mind. And he did it so that when I went to school, I had always a good sense of what was going on around me. And my father, I thought he was nuts. I never knew this, but when I woke up in the morning, my room smelled like giant lemons.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
It was like a lemon tree. And when it rained, it was even more strong. And I never knew this. And the lemons were like the size of, I don't know, rocks. It was huge. And I never knew, for instance, that these things, good things in life, also have a positive side effect, which was amazing. And you're bringing back all these memories of when I lived on the farm in Puerto Rico and all the things. You know, when I used to play baseball and football, I used to hate it because it smelled like grass. You know, when I was a lineman, I was an offensive lineman, so I used to have one hand in the dirt. And that smell, I never forget that
Wet
smell
grass?
of rain, of wet grass. My
And
goodness gracious, it drives me nuts today.
You like it or you don't like it?
I don't like it,
Oh.
but I grew up around it because he was a farmer and Freddie had to take care of the animals when he left. So I took care of chickens and goats. I mean, you name it. I can tell you things about cows that probably nobody knows. They talk, actually, if you listen. But they do. I went through this whole farm thing until I went to NYU and I left. I ran out of Puerto. I didn't want to be a farmer. I grew up in New York all my life. But my goodness gracious, the concrete jungles of New York and how unhealthy it is compared to living on land, how healthy it is. And I'm not one that sort of talks about that because I know the differences, but those things they call subways in New York, horrible, horrible places to go to. I used to go to NYU, I used to take that A train, which is probably the cleanest one. It was horrible. So here we are, full circle. Now we wash our hands for 20 seconds. Now all of a sudden we wear masks. We're not on top of each other. All of a sudden, we're doing some of the things that we should have done a long time ago. So I can relate to getting back into the earth. I can relate to that because more of that is what's needed in order to get back to where we should have been.
You know, I have to tell you, I've followed this virus very closely since January of last year because just news sources came to me with, I was just following it. Let's just say, leave it at that. My parents got sick in March. And throughout the whole pandemic, you know, when you grow up in Latin America, the rule is you come out from the street, de la calle, and you wash your hands. That's the rule in my home. You come back from school, you wash your hands. I've traveled, I've been all over the place. I haven't, knock on wood or glass, not gotten sick yet. But I think it has to do a lot with, you know, your general health.
It has to do with your DNA.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That's
no,
true.
I don't know if the DNA, because everybody, my parents got sick, my 2 sons that are away have gotten sick, but we've all been good.
and everyone's okay now.
Everybody's okay, yes. My parents, they didn't even know that they had COVID. I'm like, you have it.
Were
No,
they
no, we
here or
don't. No,
they
we don't.
in
They were
Panama?
in Panama. They were here, and they took it from here to Panama. They arrived in Panama with it. But back then in March,
Nobody
the tests
knew.
were not reliable. So when they tested, they were told, no, you don't have it. Like, you have it. They had antibodies 2 months later when they were tested again.
It's funny, she says, when you come in from La Calle, you wash your hands. In the Bronx, you come in and you put the La Calle out of your pockets. La Calle is the streets. You take it out of your pants and you put it on the table. But very true. And my father had blood clots in both lungs and across. It's called a bridge. My father's in the medical books because they don't know how he survived. My father should have died 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Doctors from all over the country went to, what is that called here, Boca General?
Boca Regional.
And they were in there and they were talking to him because he didn't speak a lot of English, but they wanted to know what he did. And if you looked at his lungs, they were full of blood clots. My father should not have been alive. Should not have been. And then there's a bridge where the 2 lungs cross, and that was full. And they asked him, do you have shortness of breath? He says, no. I said, he said, do you have any pain? Absolutely not. My father, when he had a pain, he took an aspirin and kept going.
Mm-hmm.
But it has something to do with the land. So they wanted to do a book on him. My father was 84 at the time when he was here. He got sick. And he says, I don't have time. I have a short period of time. I don't want to do that. But they still don't know why. And a lot of it has to do with the mystery of what's around us. And we still haven't learned that lesson. Remember when we started this whole thing, you said to me, have we learned the lesson? You know what? We're about to answer that.
Well, because I said in the beginning, there's a reason all of this, right? And if we don't learn from, you always say, if we don't learn from our past, history is bound to repeat itself. And when it started, we said, all right, here it is. And then Passover came. We said, here we are now living the plagues of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Have we learned? Nope. And it keeps going. And then another holiday. Have we learned the history? Nope. And we keep going, right? And then we go into Christmas. Here we are fully. Have we learned to be kinder to each other and more accepting? Nope. Because you look what's going on now on the news. And you think God gives us all of these chances to fix our ways. And do we learn? Some of us do. Some
have we learned?
Some have not. We're still dealing with the immigration issues. We're still dealing with You're still dealing with so many addiction and recovery. But hopefully, we hope, and it's what we try to do every day on our show, is bring more education and awareness and show that, you know what, there is always hope. And
There
you
is
keep
always
going.
hope. There is always hope. And that's what I try to teach my children. You know, don't live in fear. And because I think fear ties us down, and the fear of the unknown. And after you've been through a situation like mine, I'm like, well, I've already lived through my worst nightmare, so nothing really can top that, other than having a child kidnapped, I think would be terrible. But other than that, you know, just do the best you can and live healthy, try to live happy, have a purpose in life, and everything works out.
And keeping your boys out of that genetic component, if there is one.
I talk about that in my book because I talk about ancestry. You know, when I was writing it, my mentor, I was mentored through this. He's an author as well, and he pushed me to write things that I didn't really want to reveal in the book. I wasn't even going to include the addiction part at the beginning because it was really going to be a book about grief and loss and how that feels. So his name is Jack, and he was like, no, you've got to write about your ancestry. And I'm like, why? And he says, because it's relevant. And Jack is Irish. And he says, why do you think the Irish are so musical and lyrical? He says, because we were oppressed for centuries. And it was the only way that the Irish could cope with it other than drinking. And so he says, you need to write about your ancestry. So I did. I come from a tribe in China called the Hakka. And there's a whole story about that in the book, but they're very resilient people. So I do talk about that as part of my genetic ancestry. And I also include the legacy that my children's father has running through their veins, which is propensity for addiction. Because I think it's important to recognize that. You know, I have background in my family of cancer. And I eat accordingly to address that potential future that I might have. Same if you have other genetic legacies. So I think it's important to look at our history.
To that point, while Megan's here, 'cause I know you have to leave. Yeah. You talk about addiction and genetics, the legacy of what it is passed down from generations. Are you finding this is true in your centers and what you're working with these women with?
Absolutely. And I know for me personally, addiction runs through my family. My parents know, but their parents, and you know, it goes on and on and on. It skips generations. It doesn't. You never know. So we're here to educate. And this is what I tell my young girls coming in, the ones that are 19, that they're really going to change the next generation. You know, like my son's generation coming up, and they'll be the leaders for them. And I do see that, you know, it runs through families. And if it's not addiction, it's grief, it's trauma, mental health. There's always something. So.
You know, it's really funny because I think that the pandemic pressure added, I don't know if your ladies are getting younger and younger for the addiction, but there's so much pressure that's going on, and now there's added pressure to going on. Yeah. And then you have illnesses going on because all of a sudden everybody thinks that just having a headache becomes COVID. You know,
Yeah.
everybody is just like stressed out. And it becomes even worse. And then attitudes change
Yeah.
and tempers flare. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a byproduct of what's going on in this country is that, you know, the cork has popped and everybody's so intense on one another. And then it becomes racial, and it becomes political, and it becomes, and it becomes, and it becomes, and it doesn't stop. Younger kids nowadays, do you see a tendency for younger ladies to be involved
Slick.
in this stuff?
Can you open the camera, please?
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know if the drugs are getting worse or the
That's the other
upbringing is getting worse, but they are coming into treatment. I mean, I've had calls for girls as young as 17. And through the pandemic, that was tough. I had girls
Now
getting
look
out
at
of
this.
treatment, coming into my homes where everything was shut down. And they also deal with mental health and, you know, other
Thank you.
issues. So now you're essentially letting them out of treatment, but now they're confined. So for me, that was really tough, but you know, I was there every day, bringing them meetings, doing whatever I could. Fortunately, we didn't have a whole lot of relapses, and now those girls have a year sober, and they're speaking on how they stayed sober through this pandemic. And that's also going to help the next generation. So I do see that they are getting younger and younger, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, because if we can essentially get this addiction while we're younger, they have more of a life to live.
So getting to them younger is a better thing than getting to them
I think
older.
it's a good thing. That what's going on now with this fentanyl and carfentanil, and you know, people are dying left and right. You know, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, and whether they start with weed or alcohol, eventually it will get to that. So if we can get them sober and get their mind right prior to that, then, you know, we're able to save more lives.
And it becomes even more tricky. I mean, you got business people that are trying to make a living. You know, I think that our fish lady over here, she has a great product. And it just becomes, I guess Florida is really tricky. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in Florida at the same time. And you sort of have to wander your way through this thing to make a living, to do things right, to get out from under the rock and come back into the light, and then to offer shows. You know, we never shut down the studios. We grew, if anything, because we wanted to give more people an opportunity to come forward and show what you can do, because we wanted to show the light side of what's going on. There's so much darkness around us right now. We wanted to show that there are places you can go to get help. There is stuff on the table that is coming. It's coming. There is stuff that you can buy. And again, women are leading the deal. I gotta say, I'm a guy, but I see that more women have come to the forefront than the men. And I'm not putting men down. I just think that women have decided enough is enough, and they're gonna step forward, and they're taking charge. And that's what's happening right now, without bashing anybody. It's just the truth of what's going on right now. So using your words, looking onto the lighter side.
But there's always hope.
Always hope.
You're going to have to hold on to hope.
And faith.
I
And
mean,
that's
'cause
what
if
we
you
talk
don't, what are
about
you gonna
every
do?
day for five years.
5 years
We've
we've
been
been doing it. It's funny because what is the name of the actress that has the show? What is the name of her?
We've narrowed it down. The actress that has
come
the show,
on.
he's narrowed it
You
down
know
by
that
a
One
lot.
actress.
Yes,
What
that
kind
one.
of
And
show?
she has
What
dark
kind
hair?
of show is it?
She has blonde hair. It's
blonde hair.
They call it Good Things in Life show. We've been talking about for 5 years, and they give her own network show. She's the actress.
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Welcome to
man.
Freddie's Brain.
Mind is a terrible thing to lose. Drew Barrymore, have you seen her show?
I
You
have
see what
not.
she's doing?
No.
Yes, it's all about hope and inspiration and empowerment and sharing the lighter side, because we're all in this together.
She has the same number of paintings that we have in this room, screens. And people, like they did in the NBA and in football, people buy spots in the screens. So this is her audience, because they had to do it for COVID. And she only talks about the good things in life. She leaves all the negative things at the door, the news, the shootings, and all that. She got no time for that. It's about how to make yourself feel better. And her show, it started at the time of the pandemic and has gone up in the ratings. Now, Drew Barrymore, she's a great actress. but she's not a good host.
But she's had a life.
She's had the worst life I have ever heard of.
But look where she is
But
now.
she has turned it around.
That's it.
So good things can happen. And that's why they picked her. It's an amazing show with the story.
It's a great story. Debbie, how do people get your book?
It's on Amazon. I can give you guys the link.
And it's called?
Beyond the Breakpoint.
And it comes with a bottle of the juice?
No, that not yet. But one for you, yes.
All right, let's take a commercial break. When you come back, tie all these pieces together. Megan, you staying? You can tune into her tonight on WNN.
You can tune in tonight.
Tonight at 7 o'clock on WWNN to hear more of her story. So stay tuned. Quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Robin Rice, and I'm a rhinestone artist and rhinestone art instructor. 12 years ago, when I retired from my nail business, I decided to become a rhinestone artist. But then I soon realized there was nowhere that I could go to find the adequate combination of tools or even instructions of how to go about enjoying this craft. My passion for this beautiful medium we know as rhinestones and what I knew they could create drove me to figure out a way to create this magical craft that I now teach. I have developed the perfect rhinestone crafting starter kit, which contains the perfect rhinestone crafting pickup stick. I created this kit to help others and to show you that rhinestone crafting is a craft whose time has come. Filled with fun, rhythmic, and therapeutic, the amount of items that you can cover is endless. Not to mention the places this craft will take you and the people you will meet if you should decide you want to get to artist level. You can watch my creations and watch me work on the Brooklyn Cafe TV show every Thursday, where I'll be blinging for Dawn, and sometimes Freddie. While we enjoy each other's company, I'll be bringing you the most beautiful and fun creations to inspire you to try this craft. You can also find me on Real Housewives of Bling at Instagram and also my Facebook group. That is where I'll show you all of my crystal creations while you follow me on my rhinestone journey.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Dr. Laura Ellick, a licensed psychologist practicing in both Florida and New York with over 20 years of experience, addresses the negative thoughts that are keeping you stuck in your lifestyle patterns. Dr. Ellick works with children, teens, and adults, from anxiety and depression to eating disorders, addiction recovery, and medical issues. Making a deep interpersonal connection is a magical part of the therapeutic relationship. Contact Dr. Laura at 516-635-6186 or at Laura Ellick, ELLICK.com for a personalized consultation. It's time to remove the blocks that are preventing you from achieving your dreams. Call Dr. Laura Ellick at 516-635-6186 or at LAURAELLICK.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This isn't green. This isn't green.
It's not green, it's like purple.
This is delicious.
It's like purple.
I kind of like this. This is like iced tea.
It's delicious.
It is delicious.
You know why? Because it has that lemony, anything with lemon. I'm attracted to lemon.
The whole beauty of
I like to boil this and smell it. Would it help my allergies?
that I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Anti-inflammatory, anti-mold, anti-fungal.
This is just an anti.
Antibacterial.
I'll take all those anti-everythings.
You like?
I love it.
Doesn't this taste like something from your country?
Yeah, I grew up in a farm, so.
But you're another farmer.
Yes,
You grew up on a farm also?
Farmer. So.
Val, can you give me a 3-shot, please?
Do you make stuff like this? Like it's really funny you're here.
Can you ask Val for
Because
a 3?
tonight I was going to use, what's the name with the tea? Turmeric?
Turmeric?
Turmeric tea. You ever drink turmeric tea?
You do the turmeric milk, don't you?
Yes, turmeric milk. You ever done that?
I'm a high believer in turmeric.
It is the best.
Very, very healthy.
Very healthy, but it doesn't taste, this tastes like, yeah,
This tastes good.
I could drink this all day, Doc.
Some people, people could drink it all day, but
Can we white label this?
what is a white label?
You don't need the white label, she'll have her own label.
Yeah, but
for the Brooklyn Cafe?
yeah. The
We're
ton.
branding it right now, so
The ton.
You have a mic?
have the show when we're more ready to.
No, I'm thinking about putting a show around you. Pick up your microphone. I'm thinking of putting a show. This is really good. You see, and it gives you a little energy, a little kick in your step. I don't see you drinking yours.
A little pep in your step.
Holy smokes! What'd you do? Jeez.
I don't see you drinking. There's nothing left to drink.
This is really
some
good,
more.
though.
Have some more.
I would love to have more. It's delicious, and I'm all about healthy everything. And I told you, after different things in life cause more inflammation, I can feel it sometimes. I have Hashimoto, so when it goes sideways over whatever things in life, you can feel the inflammation. It's like someone's squeezing your not even your joints, just everything. Your hands, your feet is more muscular.
I love that.
So any
good, right?
anti-inflammatory.
I
Yes.
finished mine too.
It's very healthy, and it's local.
Which is great, and we
So-
need to promote your book because I know you can offer so much hope too, especially
Well,
on
that's
420.
why.
And
Yes, that's why I wrote it because it's not easy to tell your story. Certainly not what I embarked on, but I was really motivated because I knew that it would not only offer a window into that grief process. I'll tell you the story of how it happened. About 3 or 4 years after I had lost my husband, one of my coworkers from my pharma days, we connected, and it turned out that his wife had passed away. But I was 4 years ahead of him in the process. And I realized that to meet him where he was, which was month 3, I had forgotten what that felt like. You want to forget. When you've gone through, if anyone has gone through a trauma, you kind of don't want to go back there. But I had my notes. And when I read them, I said, this is very helpful for anyone that has to face this situation. So that's how I got the idea of writing the book.
you do so much; it's incredible. Marley, what do you think? Empowered women.
I think Marley likes
Empowering women
wants
wants to know.
First of all, to raise 3 boys must be not easy at all. So I don't have children, but I have a little nephew, and he's almost 3 years old, and it's, oh my God, it's a lot of work. In 3,
It's
people?
slightly exhausting.
Yeah.
But you've done an incredible job. The book is
Yeah.
amazing.
And
Thank you.
not having a husband to support and be there and help out with everything
You must have a
it's
great
so
support
difficult.
system.
Well, that was another aspect of the book, was the huge support that I got from the community. I moved here to Boca about 25 years or so ago, and I had been very involved with the community where my kids went to school. And, you do things because you want to be involved. I never realized how that would come back to basically support me through this process. So I had a lot of support because I don't have any direct family. My parents don't live here. My brother lives in Mexico. So it was my community that supported me.
The amazing thing is that both of you ladies have a niche. And that's what's blowing me away. You have a niche that is developing, and when it's full level and it's going to turn into a business, and then you're going to decide your own stepping stones of where you want to go with this thing. And I think that your product with the purses is phenomenal. And it's funny because I've talked to people and they don't believe me. So the problem is that she's been so busy, you know, because people want to actually
touch them,
and feel it. I need like a scratch and sniff or something on Facebook because people don't believe that what you do is real.
Yeah.
They think you're mixing it with other
So
things.
her purses are made from tilapia skin.
I want to take a look at them because I'm
Yeah,
fascinated
come
by
on,
that.
Take a look.
Yes.
But the other amazing side of this stuff is that it's real. So we just have to pump up the volume, make sure that these things are ready to go. And then you can order purses and then you run out. You have to wait until the shipments come in and you start again. That's a good problem to have. The same thing over here. It's a good problem to have.
There's
But what
limited
I like
inventory.
about this whole thing between these two ladies is the mannerisms. It's, you know, you've been through your trials and tribulations, you've been through your changes, your challenges and everything else, but they sell their product with dignity. They sell it and then their chins are up and they're not looking down.
They're true ladies.
And I gotta tell you something, it's refreshing in our business to run into some people like this because everybody's walking around with their heads down.
You know, went to commercial break. You know, what you and I always got to do was the networking here, and things sort of shifted. But today, when you stepped off set, they all sitting around exchanging information and networking. And that is one of the greatest gifts that we get to do every day is to watch people network and to grow their business and to elevate as a community and share the resources. And it was so great to see that. So let's take a picture. But we're getting back to what we get to do.
But that's the name of the game, and we have to do more. You know, I've been trying to get her to do more. So when I met her, I spoke to somebody. I've been after doing a Brazilian, Portuguese show for years. And finally, somebody that I know for 5 years had told me no, and no, and no, and no. Okay. And she became brave, and Danielle Bujan is doing it now. And I want to get her on there as well.
And now we've got Fuego.
And then we have Fuego, which is a Latino-based show, which I want to talk to you about. See, Latinos they know everything about nothing. We know everything about nothing. We don't know the essence of, there was a kid in here who wants to be a producer. He's Spanish, he's Puerto Rican. He said, but don't talk to me in Spanish because I don't speak one word of Spanish.
Like your boys.
Oh.
But at least they understand. At least they know the bad words. But the bottom line here is that you don't want to lose your cultura. You don't want to lose your culture.
Not at
One
all.
of the things that I admire about the Jewish community is that they always go back to learn forward. They always have traditions. I mean, I make fun of some of the things that Dawn does because I sort of find you can't eat things that rise and all that. I make fun, but I have to respect it because they keep that old school mentality going forward. And I try to tell Slick these things that I know I'm old school. I got no problem doing that because tomorrow, old school may save your life. You may change the environment. You may be the answer to a lot of cancer-causing issues that are going on around us. I mean, I lived in City Island in the Bronx. They buried cancer in the dirt in City Island. A lot of kids got sick with brain tumors. And that's a proven fact. You can look it up. Okay? Something as simple as that. So you try some of this stuff, maybe it heals you. You never know. You never know what tomorrow will bring.
I think it's definitely an integrative approach to everything. There's not one, again, silver bullet. But I think it's beautiful to honor our cultures and our heritage because there's so much richness that comes with that. Like my children are bilingual. It has not been easy. They're not perfect, but they can defend themselves if they're thrown into Latin America. And I'm the product of being a bilingual with a mother that had the vision to speak to me in English so that I could speak to, you know, I grew up in Latin America. I didn't come here till I was 21 years old.
So you spoke Spanish?
I was educated in Spanish all the way up to through college.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you grew up in where?
In South Brazil.
But her first language was German.
My first language is German and then Portuguese, and then I learned English 8 years ago when I moved here. So it was kind of tough. As older as you get, as tough as things get to learn in another language is not easy.
Not easy.
I grew up in the South Bronx, which
Well,
is more Puerto Rican than any other country in the world. And my parents didn't speak English. My brother and sister taught me English. So when I used to go to school, Mrs. Goldstein said, I want to talk to your mom. And she came in and she couldn't talk to my mother because my mother didn't speak English. And she says, your son has a very bad vocabulary. And no kidding. I was taking Spanish and turning it into English. And it was very difficult. So you're looking at the only kid in the South Bronx that went to summer school for 10 years in a row, voluntarily. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Because I wanted to learn. I still can't write well. Do I write well?
Well, you want to.
Nah, I write horribly.
When you want to, you can.
I try. And it's just hard. For you, it's easy. For me, I got to think and think and think.
You know the amazing thing? We started the morning show, I know we have to wrap this up, talking about, I told you, on the Today Show, George W. was doing the whole naturalization ceremony to honor the first responders to get their citizenship in the United States, and how his one failure he felt as a president was lack of immigration reform. And here we sit today, and we're all from another place. None of us are from the United States of America. If you go, no matter which way you go backwards, my ancestors came from your family, Slick, everyone. Everyone came from another place. So we've learned anything going forward in this past year. I hope we have all learned to accept each other for our uniqueness of coming together, not
As
how we are
people.
different as people, because it doesn't matter if you put your pants on left leg or right leg first, you're still putting your pants on because we're still people all
Please
the way
put
around.
your pants
Just
on.
put your pants on is all I can tell you. Ladies, it has been a pleasure to have you join us.
Where are we going?
We got to wrap it up. Cracker Barrel's got to go to work.
Oh.
Second job number 2. Yeah, our crew, they keep 2 jobs. They keep a job here with us during the day, and then they go to their night jobs, and they are truly remarkable. Slick is our floor manager. Cracker Barrel, Valerie, is amazing. We got to meet her mom, and here we got to meet Chloe a little bit too. What they do for us all the time, keep us
Good
on
stuff.
air.
That's
And Dan's floating around here somewhere also.
I saw he has a tie on. It makes me very nervous.
So tune in tonight to WWNN for more information on Megan Cosgrove Roseway Recovery House. Going to be coming live to you on the radio and on our streaming platforms. 7:30, we've got Jordana Foster of Ready, Set, Go Beyond Show, and more to come.
More to come.
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Be kind to each other. We'll see you tomorrow.
And don't be late. We'll see you tomorrow.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that glaze across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could